Has your busyness become your own prison? I'd love to start that business, but I don't have time. I want to learn Spanish, but there just aren't enough hours in the day. I know I should exercise, but I'm too busy. Sound familiar? We've all been there, trapped in the relentless cycle of busyness, wielding "I don't have time" like a shield against everything we claim to want, but somehow never do. But here's what I've discovered working with hundreds of people stuck in this pattern. Time is rarely the real issue. It's the story we tell ourselves when we don't want to admit what's actually stopping us. "I don't have time" has become our culture's most socially acceptable excuse. It sounds reasonable, responsible even. After all, who's going to argue with someone who's clearly overwhelmed? But dig deeper, and you'll find something interesting. The same person who doesn't have time to work on their passion project somehow found 3 hours last week to reorganize their closet. The person too busy for the gym managed to watch an entire Netflix series. The aspiring writer who can't find time to write spent 2 hours scrolling social media yesterday. This isn't hypocrisy. It's human nature. We make time for what we truly prioritize, and we avoid what feels uncertain, challenging, or emotionally risky by hiding behind the time excuse. Research in time perception shows us something fascinating. Our sense of having no time is often more psychological than factual. Studies reveal that people consistently overestimate how long unpleasant tasks will take and underestimate available time for activities that feel overwhelming or ambiguous. When we say, "I don't have time," we're often experiencing what psychologists call time poverty, a feeling of being chronically rushed and stressed. That's more about our relationship with time than the actual hours available to us. Here's the kicker. Time poverty is strongly correlated with task anxiety, decision paralysis, and lack of clear priorities. In other words, it's not that you don't have time, it's that you don't have clarity. Time perception research also shows us that when we're engaged in meaningful flow state activities, time seems to expand. Conversely, when we're doing things that don't align with our values or goals, time feels scarce and rushed. Your relationship with time is actually a reflection of your relationship with meaning. The first is lack of clarity. When you don't know exactly what you want to do or how to do it, everything feels overwhelming and time-consuming. "I want to start a business" feels impossible because it's vague. "I want to create a simple website for my freelance consulting service" suddenly becomes manageable. The second is misaligned priorities. You have time for what you value most, even if you're not conscious of those values. If you're spending hours on activities that don't move you toward your goals, the issue isn't time scarcity, it's priority confusion. The third is fearing masquerading as logistics. Starting something new means risking failure, judgment, or discovering we're not as capable as we hoped. "I don't have time" sounds much better than "I'm scared I'll fail." The fourth is the perfectionist trap. Many people avoid starting because they think they need large, uninterrupted blocks of time to do something properly. This all-or-nothing thinking keeps them perpetually waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. And finally, recognize the difference between energy management and time management. Sometimes when we say we don't have time, we really mean we don't have energy. You might have a free hour, but if it's at the end of a draining day, that hour feels useless for creative or challenging work. Instead of "I don't have time," try these more honest alternatives. This isn't a priority right now. Sometimes this is perfectly valid, but saying it out loud helps you own your choices instead of feeling victimized by circumstances. "I don't know how to start." This is actionable. You can research, ask for help, or break the task into smaller pieces. "I'm afraid of what might happen if I try." This is the beginning of real self-awareness. Fear can be worked with. Time scarcity feels helpless. "I haven't figured out how to fit this into my current system." This is a design problem, not a time problem. Design problems have solutions. Sometimes, the time excuse is protecting you from deeper truths. Identity shifts feel threatening. "I don't have time to write" might really mean "I'm not sure I'm ready to see myself as a writer." Success feels dangerous. "I don't have time for that promotion" could mean I'm afraid of the responsibility that comes with advancement. Change disrupts relationships. I don't have time for the gym might mean I'm worried about how my partner will react if I start prioritizing my health. These are all workable issues, but only if you're willing to look past the time story to see what's really happening. Here's what happens when you stop using "I don't have time" as a catch-all excuse. You start making conscious choices. You begin saying, "This isn't a priority for me right now," instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances. This shift is liberating because it puts you back in the driver's seat. Priorities can be changed. Time feels finite and fixed. You also start having more honest conversations with yourself and others. Instead of vague promises about when things calm down, you either commit to something or you don't. This clarity reduces mental clutter and decision fatigue. The next time you catch yourself saying, "I don't have time," pause and ask, what is this really about? Are you unclear about what you actually want to do? Are you afraid of starting something that might not work out? Are you using busyness to avoid difficult decisions? Are you trying to do too many things at once instead of focusing on what matters most? The answer will point you toward the real work that needs to be done. And it's rarely about finding more hours in the day. Time isn't your enemy. Lack of clarity is. Fix the clarity, and you'll be amazed how much time you suddenly have. Remember, you don't find time for what matters. You make time for what matters. The question is whether you're ready to be honest about what that is. If this resonates, here's what I want to offer. If I offered to personally work with you to create a reinvention plan in 90 days, without wasting years on trial and error or generic self-help advice, so you walk away with clarity on your next move, confidence in your direction, and a practical plan you can start using immediately. Would you take me up on that offer? If you're ready to step beyond limiting beliefs and into who you're becoming, send me a message with the word reinvention. Your identity isn't fixed. It's waiting to be rewritten.